Hey everyone, welcome to JMC Jams Season 3, Episode 5. We've got a special guest with us today, somebody who is from JMC, left JMC, came back to JMC, and you're keeping involved with us. We have Ajay, who is here to talk about a number of different things today. He's here to sell us his salsa, of course. Yep. Ultimately, this is what we're trying to do. Yeah. But on a serious note, talk about Ajay's journey from being a student here at SJSU in the advertising program through to developing his own brand and his own products and product ranges, and then bringing it all back, like a full circle to our classes here and kind of involving students, taking them along within his journey as well. So thank you, Ajay, for agreeing to do this. It was one of those chance things last week when I had to to open the door for you when you were coming to Belen's class, and I thought, hey, we should have you on JMC Jams, right?
Yeah, definitely. I love being here. I love San Jose State. There's so much that I started with when I first came here. I came into the program ready to start my own business. That's why I chose advertising. I was going to be an accountant, believe it or not, first and foremost, because my whole process of thinking was getting a big paycheck and going into finance and things like that. But I am so excited that I chose this program because now it's turned me into something that I never thought I would be as I was growing up.
Yeah, and I mean, you did a number of my classes at the time. It's around COVID time, wasn't it? So it was kind of a funny time really for everything educational, well, the world generally, right?
Yeah.
But it's like our classes were a bit mixed up and things, but we all came through it. And but yeah, I mean, I remember in the campaigns class particularly, chatting to you initially and about your ideas and so on. You were working on the projects that, with your team. You guys had the DJ, if I remember correctly, right?
Yes, we did.
Yeah. It was a local DJ, and you were working.
Carlos.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we had him as a project. Unfortunately, he did pass away.
Oh, really?
Yeah, recently too. I believe maybe less than a year ago. I went on social media, paid my respects to family and stuff like that. But yeah, it was a fun project. I really liked working with him, especially going into the music space and all that. My whole thing, I still remember when I was in your classes, and still to this day, I always tell even people in my family is when you taught me how to think a little bit more, and that helped me so much because my whole thing in life is, okay, there's a problem. Solution right then and there, right? I have the solution, but the way that you made me think has really turned into something greater for me today, because that's what I do now more than anything. It's funny. I do that with arguments with my wife, believe it or not. Yeah. I look at, the wrongs and the rights and everything, and I'm just like, okay, why is she right? Why am I wrong, right? Because initially, when you get into conversations, you get mad or you get emotional or other things happen. But if you actually sit back and you look at why things are happening, it brings you to a better space where you can actually think about a solution. Yeah. Right. And so it's helped me so much in life, business and other things, so I wanted to thank you for that.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so
that was unintentional. But yeah, I mean, I guess the whole idea of looking at a problem strategically, measuring the situation, and pushing the ideas as far as you can. I mean, that's ultimately, and it sounds great, that you're applying that kind of thinking, because ultimately, that's how we kind of produce good results in terms of communications, branding, whatever, right? Yeah. But even when you were in that class, I remember that you said, "Oh, can I bring my salsa in?" And I was like, "Okay, let's. If you don't kill us, then it's a bonus, right?" But honestly, I think everybody was actually really blown away, because this was really good stuff. You know, it wasn't just, "Oh, AJ in class has made some salsa." This was it was different, if I remember. It had a hint of Indian pickle, but then it wasn't quite Indian pickle. It was something else.
Yeah.
And it was kind of really proper fusion, I think, you know, but you could taste that kind of Indianness about it as well. But then we were having it with tortilla chips, right? It was pretty cool. I remember everybody liked them. I took a jar home. My wife loved it. And so tell us a bit more about this. What's the whole sauce about?
So my favorite thing to say to everybody is that Tapatio is Mexican, Sriracha is the Asian, you know, universal hot sauce that you see, and BBG's chutney is going to be the first ever universal Indian hot sauce on the market. And most of the people, like you just said, they think it's going to be some sort of curry sauce, or, you know, what is it going to be? And, you know, the idea is really great, right? Like claiming that you're the first ever universal Indian hot sauce, because nobody's done that yet. Absolutely nobody has done that on the market yet. And the taste is what really separates itself. I did have some issues in production because we were trying to, you know, we think long term, we think, you know, putting it on the shelf, and let's make this refrigerate after opening. So in order to do that, it kind of changed the pH levels of the sauce. It didn't taste the same. So the taste is everything to us. And that's kind of, you know, and from your experience, as you just said, you know, it was the taste. The taste was, you know, it was different. It was something that you didn't expect. And that's what I want to keep. And I think that's what's going to really be successful about this sauce. Not just saying, you know, it's the first ever universal Indian hot sauce. I think that's a good way to draw people's attention. I think the taste is what seals the deal. And also, you know, thinking from a marketing standpoint and advertising is, you know, Sriracha just had a big deal going on with peppers and things like that. So I'm like, everyone's looking for the next best thing, right? Like everything's been established for X amount of time. Everyone's always looking for the next best thing, the next best crave, something that they're going to take to their family's house, and they're going to try it with their friends and families, and they're going to be like, oh my God, where did this come from? Where can I find it? Things like that. So that's my plan. And San Jose State has been helping me out tremendously. I've been with Belen for about 3 semesters now, and the students actually helped me out to create a booth for Natural Expo West, which we are planning to attend this upcoming year. So I have different booth ideas, promotional material, flyers, and this semester, the students are helping me to get into retail. So one semester focused on getting to the Natural Expo West show and being a vendor and how to draw people's attention and getting the buyers to come and talk to me. And this semester is going into retail. And most of the times, I actually had a presentation last semester where I did my sports collectible shop, and they actually designed a booth for me, which Fanatics Fest actually shouted us out, for San Jose State out, and they were like, great job, great work. And when I actually went there and presented this, I had a barbecue grill that had smoke coming out of it with cards in it. Everyone said that no one's ever been creative with booths in the trading card space. So I'm so excited to see what, you know, the kids bring to the table with the hot sauce. I mean, it's already been great for the Natural Expo West, but what they're going to do for the retail space. My idea, I told them I absolutely love crazy. I love when people do crazy things. So when I was doing the presentation last week, I actually told them, I said, when I go talk to these buyers, restaurants, etc., I said, you know, when you go to a restaurant and they bring the steak to you and it's in a briefcase and they kind of open it and it has dry ice with like smoke coming out and all these kind of special effects. I told them, I was like, I want something like that where I can go bring it to the customers, and I just want them to just, you know, it's like a light comes out, smoke coming out, light, laser lights, whatever it is, right? Like I just like to draw people's attention and kind of have my vibe, my personality come out while I'm doing my presentations, because that's, you know, what I like to do.
And so you're working with Belen on her branded experience.
For B2B. So we're doing business.
For B2B.
So we're doing business. Yeah, because we're not doing business to consumer.
No.
We're doing business to business. So I strictly stay on track for, you know, students helping me out as my business, going into retail businesses and working with them to eventually get to the end
That's
consumer.
awesome, actually, because the whole idea of B2B can sometimes be so dry, but what's really nice is that how Belen has been transforming that into creating experiences, because even within the B2B space, you still want to have entertainment, and you want to be like sort of engrossed in that new brand that you're going to work with. And he said something interesting before, of course, which I've got to mention there. So suddenly you start talking about the trading cards and sports memorabilia. This is something we have to remember, is that you're an entrepreneur, right? You do like all of these different things, and you never sit still. So there's always something new kind of like sort of bubbling up for AJ, right?
This is the beginning.
Yeah.
This is the beginning. The chutney, we want to hold on. This is my baby.
Yeah.
I don't want to let this go, but me and my brother are already, he's my partner in both of these ventures. And what we want to do is we want to build this sports memorabilia space up and eventually maybe even sell, because we have ideas already that require a lot more capital. And that's kind of where I'm at right now, is I'm going to jump from one place to another. My whole thing is just legacy for my kids. I want them to grow up and not to be spoiled in a sense. You know, I remember make them work for it, but I want them to never worry about things and always be able to experience the most they can out of life. Because I feel like sometimes I feel like I'm a robot. That's kind of like where I got into like the advertising department. That's how I came here. Is I actually thought to myself that, hey, the world wants you to go and get a degree, work for 40-something years, and then they want you to put money into your 401k. They want you to retire, and then when you retire, you take money from your 401k and you use that in your retirement. And I thought that was just a big load of crap. I was like, this is absolutely not the way that we should live our lives. I think especially now, people are actually building more and more businesses with social media coming out, with AI coming out. There's people using AI to develop apps. There's people on social media who are just becoming influencers, literally going from place to place, eating food and commenting on the food and gaining so many followers that now people are actually asking them to, you know, paying them a couple $1,000s just to go eat at their spot and, you know, give a good review on their food. So there's so much coming out, right, nowadays. And I kind of felt that happening. So I kind of, like, I think I messed up in a lot of my early years. I wanted to do a lot of things, and I wish I had, because it would have got me to a different place that I am now. But I'm not too worried about it, because there's a lot of times that you have to really think to yourself that it's not too late. I mean, I started college at the age of 28, and I graduated when I was 34, and I was working at the same time. So, you know, it kind of took me a lot longer to do so. And
your journey was always different, but I mean, it's not so different to other SJSU students. You know, that's the thing, that we do have an education now. I mean, it's everyone's journey takes different turns, right? Yeah. Sometimes you follow that path that takes you in 4 years from 18 to graduation, but most of the time we've seen that pattern has totally changed. But I've got to say, though, that none of this surprises me really, because you always seem to be open to ideas and grabbing opportunity. Yeah. Which is something really that when you're studying like sort of a discipline like, or you're working within a discipline like advertising, that's ultimately what you have to do, is to find that angle to go down and build on that, right? Yes. So yeah, I think I remember like so that your graduating class was full of ideas, and I love seeing those ideas taking place. And then, of course, shaping up to be something like this, and then you're coming back, you're working with Belen and her students, and long may it continue, because I can see there's a lot of different opportunities for that to happen.
Yeah, I even encouraged a lot of the advertising students themselves to go out there, start a business, and while you're in these classrooms, because that's what I did, is every professor that I talked to, I was like, hey, we were assigned, let's say, Taco Bell or Coca-Cola. That was our project to work on that. And I was like, hey, can I work on my hot sauce? And they would always tell me, if you can convince your group. And I would go straight to my group and I'd say, hey, would you rather work on a fake presentation, or would you work on something real and put this on your resume? Because essentially, even like with that barbecue grill idea at Fanatics Fest, I want people to be able to use that and say, this is what we did, and this is how far it went. And I think that's the best thing about having this experience for the kids, is giving them something real to work with, and being able to say, hey, I worked on that, and hey, that was my idea right there. Because I give the class full credit all the time for the ideas they give me, the inspirations they give me.
And that's what we do across the board in the advertising program, right? You know, from the campaigns class down. to our agency in the other corner. You know, it's working with real life clients is the bread and butter really of what we do in the advertising degree. I just want to finish up on one point that you made there, which was about the fake briefs and so on, talking about authenticity. That's what always struck me about this this source of yours. So we'll go full circle back to that.
Yeah.
Was that it is an authentic brand, isn't it? Because this all comes from you and your family and cooking in the kitchen. Yes. And so on, right?
So as a child, this was my favorite sauce that my grandmother made. And every day after school, I would call home. This is without cell phones, call the landline, and I would say, I'm on my way, and can you make some, they're called parotas, and they're basically like a tortilla, fresh tortilla. And what we would do is I would eat it with this and yogurt. And she would make it for me almost every day as I was coming home from school because I loved it so much. But the idea kind of sparked as family members would come over to my grandmother's house because she was living with us at the time. And they would ask her, like, can I take this home? And in certain cases, I'm like, wait, like, how good is this? And then my uncle came, and I just started paying attention to it. And I was like, wait a minute, like, everyone loves this. And she kind of looked at me, and she was like, everybody loves this sauce, right? And I'm like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
So me and my brother were like, okay, so we eat it with, you know, parotas, that's our thing. Like, we don't really eat it with anything else. And we're like, let's go get Taco Bell. Literally, Taco Bell is the one that we went to go grab right down the street, came back, threw it all over some Taco Bell, and it was absolutely delicious. From then on, we tried it with Chinese food, Mexican food, everything, and we're like, hey, we have a sauce that goes with
everything.
With everything.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of where it was like, you know, then first thing I do is look at numbers. How much money does Sriracha make a year, right? How much money does Tapatio make? And I'm like, holy crap, hot sauce is $1 billion industry. So, then it's just all research from there, getting everything together. It's been quite a journey. I mean, the amount of research that goes in here, the trips I took to different events where people were vendors and they were selling to clients to go into stores and things like that. It's just been a big learning experience. A lot of things I did not know in the past. I almost had some daring moves. I went to Natural Expo West and I actually was about to go on stage and just grab the microphone and just start talking to people. And somebody saw me that I had a small conversation with, and he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm about to go on that microphone right now and say something. And he's like, no. He's like, don't do that. He's like, why? I was like, this is my sauce. This is what I do. He's like, come here, follow me. So he took me to a bar at the Marriott, and he sat me down, and he's like, this is where everything's at. And he pointed to the person who was buying for Costco, the person who was buying for Safeway, all the major brands, Whole Foods, everybody was at that bar at that time. And he told me, he's like, you know, this is where you need to be at. These are the people. Let me introduce you to them. And he introduced me to the people. And they kind of gave me the knowledge of, hey, Costco, they don't play around. If you don't complete an order, they will cut you for life, right? These people, they need this from you. They need that from you. Like, and it was kind of this whole educating moment for me. And it turned into, okay, this is what I need to do. And that's kind of like the road path that I'm taking. But education, like you were mentioning earlier, like me, it was the ability to adapt and learn and things like that. That is my number one thing. It's actually my religion, Sikhism, being a Sikh, Punjabi, that's Sikh means student. So my job in life is actually to learn and learn and learn. But I did not know how important that was until later on in life. And now I just, like when people talk, I listen to every little thing they say. I don't discount anybody, small, big, you know what I mean, loud, you know, quiet. It doesn't matter, right? I always try to pay attention to everybody and get something out of that conversation, anything that I can.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. Honestly, AJ, well, we haven't had a chance to taste this, and we've been given the nod. But thank you so much, and thanks for like bringing things back to JMC and, you know, keeping that relationship going, you know?
Yeah, of course.
It's always good. It's good to see you growing, and it's good to see you giving that back to us as well. So that's awesome. We thank you so much. And live long and prosper with your hot sauce and your memorabilia as well.
Yeah.
So,
well, you never know. I mean, one of these days I might be able to come back and say, hey, we're in stores all the way here, and this is my life now, and maybe people can see like in the future.
And thank you, B2B.
And thank you, B2B. B2B is the way to go.
Okay. Well, thanks, AJ. Thank you, everybody. We'll see what happens with the next episode of JMC Jams. We've got some Adobe fun happening next week. We've got some other events unfolding with other students former students who have gone, are coming back, are working with us in here. So we'll hear a lot more about some more creative happenings, which are kind of inspiring our students in the advertising program and beyond. So thank you, AJ. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, guys.